Well, I've been struggling with this decision for quite a while, but the truth is I'm just not getting anything done with it. So it is time to say farewell to my South Bend lathe. Hello YouTubes, sorry for the dramatic introduction, just keeping you on your toes. No, this project is definitely staying. I'm going to get this done. But the lathe, which I've now had for 3 years and I've not used it once. It's just one of those tools that takes up a lot of space and you maybe use it once or twice a year. If you know what you're doing, you probably use it more. I don't know what I'm doing, don't have the time to learn. So that is going to a fellow YouTuber. And I'll still have visitation rights and he probably knows what he's doing with it, so I might actually get something done. The other thing that I am purging today, my trusty Lincoln 180, also going to another YouTuber. Hopefully he can build a nice car with it like I did with Bugsy. That welder pretty much built the whole car. Okay, let me talk you through what I've got planned for this pain in my backside. If you've been following along, you'll know that progress has been pretty slow, mostly because of the rear end situation. Trying to get hubs to fit that. I cobbled together some RX-7 rear hubs onto a big steel plate, which I was then going to attach to those control arms. I am not 100% happy with that setup, but here's what I'm thinking. When you're building something like this, whether it be a hot rod or a kit car, whatever, you kind of have to use what you have or what you can get at the time. So if you don't like it, you can always change it in the future. So my plan is to put all this together as best I can, and at least I'll get the overall width of the car, front and back. I don't even like the front, the steering isn't going to work for me either. But I kind of want to get the car on its wheels, on the ground, and then I'll know the height. And until I get the actual rear hubs that I want, probably from an MX-5, maybe get a stud conversion, because the older MX-5s are 4 stud and I want 5 stud. But until I can get all those parts, I can get on with other stuff, like getting the engine up and running, getting some body panels done, maybe start some fiberglass work, get the nose cone done, get the rear arches done. But I can't do any of that until I know the overall width of the wheels, wheel to wheel, how wide they are, how high they are, all that kind of stuff. So let us just try and get this thing on the ground, on its weight, ride height, everything, and then we can change it in the future. Sound like a plan? Well, it is a plan, it's just not a very good one. First up then is to make another one of these plates, just like that one, and then drill some holes in there, bolt the plate onto there, and then we can work out how we're going to attach those hubs and plates to those control arms. So give me a few hours, I'll have another plate ready, and then we can start cutting and welding brackets. Oh hey, that's harder than it looks. Right, second plate is done. Let's see how on earth we're going to attach it to the car. Now don't panic, I will be trimming the plates down once I know where they're getting welded on. At the moment I don't want to cut off areas that I might need to use. Now, the reason we're doing it this way is I'm limited by where this gets mounted, because, let me get this out of the way first. This has to go there. I've got a small amount of plate in and out, because obviously when it goes up and down, this bar extends. So I have to mount the big plate onto this, well, mount the hub onto this, and then I can work out how I'm going to attach these. These at the moment are a bit too long, these tabs. Here, they're a wee bit long, so I'll probably have to trim them down and drill more holes. Remember guys, this is just temporary until I know where everything is supposed to go and where it works. I can always change it in the future. So let me throw this hub and plate on, and then we'll start lining that up and see where we're going to cut it. Okay, I have the hub roughly where I want it. I'm not looking for perfection at the moment because I will be replacing with these top and lower control arms with some sort of adjustability. At the moment I just want it roughly in the right place. So that would be a bit straight, which means I've got about 1/2 inch of play in and out on the shaft and about 1.5 inches to 2 inches out the way. So that's plenty. So we can see at the bottom, I'm going to have to trim these lower tabs down a fair bit and then drill more holes, and then I'm going to be welding on some form of bushing onto this plate. So I'll mark off those tabs at the bottom, get them into position, and then start working on the lower bushing mounts. And then once they're in, I can figure out, it'll be much the same with this. This is probably going to be much the same that I need to trim off. Probably have to modify this a fair bit because I'm not going to have a lot of room there to drill another hole. So we'll see where we are. We'll see where we are. Let me get these lower control arms trimmed down, and I'll see you in a minute. So it was easier just to cut those tabs off and make new ones. Well, when I say make new ones, I repurposed the old ones. Cut them all off, and what I'll show you here is how I'm going to attach it. For now, don't panic. This tab here moves, which is why it's rounded so it doesn't interfere with anything. I'm definitely not going to be able to use these control arms because I have to get this close in order to get the drive shafts in the right place. So these are going to have to be shorter if I want any form of adjustment. So these will go on the outside for now, weld these in place. Remember folks, this is really just to get the car set up and make sure my wheel span is correct. Right, so I'm going to take this over, weld these onto that new plate. And then we can get the top one done and actually figure out how much to trim off that plate I've made. That I'm probably not going to use, but hey, it'll do for now. I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm not even going to pretend to measure because it's all temporary anyway. That'll do it. It's just tacked on for now. You know, I don't want to make any huge mistakes. So now we can try and position the top control arm. Meanwhile, when this goes up and down, it should stay intact and it should be able to stay straight. Yep, that'll do for now. Right, we are currently parallel with the drive shaft, control arm and the ground. So this would be normal ride height. So let's see how much we have to trim off of this. Oh, not much actually. I might even get away with just trimming these down for now and putting on a similar attaching device at the bottom. And I do believe these are supposed to slope up a bit, so I will account for that. Not sure how much. Let me do a wee bit of research, because although this is a mock-up, I do want it to be repeatable. That's not the word. You tell me the word. But I want it like 90% in line so that when I make the real ones, it's not too difficult for calculating. Right, as I say, let me figure this out for the slope of the top control arm. See what I can come up with. Back in a minute. Here's what I've come up with. I cut off those tabs. They were just in the way and completely useless. Had to trim them down because this little section has to be quite short. Had to get a nut and bolt through. So that is just 2 inch by 1 inch tube hole through it. So I'll show you how that goes together before I fit it to the car. As before, I made another couple of tabs. So this will go on this side, one on that side, and then I can weld this flat section onto the steel plate and they will rotate. Again, temporary. I'll end up driving it with this, won't I? Right, let me get this into the position and let me weld these onto the plate. So now we should have up and down articulation, or whatever it's called. Now ideally this should be slightly in at the top at road height, and if the car is going round a left hand bend, the weight is going to come this way and lean that way, so you want this to compensate by going in a wee bit more at the top, which is what it does. I wonder what happens when it goes down the way. Interesting. It goes in a wee bit at the top when it goes down as well. It's never going to go that much. It's probably going to go there to there. So I'm happy with that for a temporary solution. Oh, wow, this is heavy now. Okay, what's next? I think I'm going to cut this plate to shape. I need to leave enough meat on it for it to actually attach to the hub securely, but also I need to cut out a big section so that the brake caliper can go on. Let me dismantle again then. So I had to do a bit of adjustment, and by a bit of adjustment I mean a total redesign. I had to cut all those tabs off because I had it sitting roughly like that, but I didn't leave enough room for the brake caliper and the brackets at the back, so it actually has to sit kind of like that rather than like that. So I need to reattach them, but first I'm going to cut it out because that is the shape that I need to clear all my mounting holes and the brackets at the back and the caliper. So let's fire up the first test. Yes Welder plasma cutter, which I love.
Retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. For your love with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. They'll take for their disease. Rage is like a weed, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip cards into weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit.
I got a really nice cut right around the top, but that was after I'd turned the machine all the way up. So as you can see, it's not penetrated all the way through around here. So I'll flip it over, finish it off, and then we'll be good. There we go. Let me clean that up a bit. All cleaned up. I just hope I've left enough meat on it to attach it to those brackets. Let's find out. To the control arms. Yes, I have left enough meat. Right, I need to tackle this back on again, and then we should be good for this side. Right, what's next? You know what we should do? We should stick a wheel on it and make sure it all fits before we think about coilovers and stuff. So let me grab a wheel, see how that looks. We should probably make sure we can get the brakes on as well. So we will do that first and then throw a wheel on. So, first things first, carrier. Which goes this way. Yeah, I'm glad I checked. I need to cut a little notch out the top of the backing plate because I can't get the bolt in from the back. Yeah, I need to cut out about a centimetre to be on the safe side. Anyway, I can set it there for now and we'll get an idea. Make sure it's all going to, or make sure the wheel's going to get over it. Of course, you got to put the brake disc on first. Goodness, it's been a while, okay? Might as well finish this brake job while we're here. Still got room on the inside to reach my little bleed nipple, etc. Okay, spacer and wheel. One side done. Oh my god, look at the state of my face. I need a shower. Ew. Closer look. Let's have a look from the back. We can check our clearances. That looks pretty good. And you're probably wondering about the wheel situation with the big spacers. Ugh, I don't want to talk about it, okay? We do have a slight close area there. But if that's right height, then that's as close as it's going to get, because if I go over a bump and it pushes the wheel up, it's going to come this way. And likewise, if I go over a jump, then the wheel will drop down a bit. Ugh, it's fine, it's fine. But until I get a different set of wheels with a different offset, this is going to have to do. Plus, I really like those wheels. Okay, now that would be right height, so we're not really going to know how high it is off the ground until we get all 4 wheels attached and lower it down. Actually, that's not right height. I forgot I had to move the jack in so that I could get the wheel on because it was sticking too far out. So if you look at the lower control arm and the drive shaft, you'll see it is sloping down. So that's actually good. That means it's going to be lower than I thought it was. If I raise that up to make that parallel, it's going to be up another 2 inches. That's better. Ratchet strap for the win. Spins nice. It's a bit rattly because the other drive shaft's just sitting over there doing nothing. But that seems fine, and my clearance issue around there is much better as well, because it was sitting pretty much as low as it would ever go, so it's only going to get further away from that if it raises. So what's next? Just mirror that onto the other side. It should actually be easier because I won't make the same mistakes 3 times. I'll probably make them twice, but not 3 times. So let me get the other side on, cut to shape, welded, and then we can work out where the suspension, where the coilovers are going to go. But not today. I've had enough and I'm covered in steel. I need to wash this off. Stay tuned for more stupidity. Bye.